And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. Welcome back on this lovely Wednesday morning. Now we're venturing off into our second conversation for the morning. Actually, that 2020 vision of money saving tips for 2020. We've got the pro in to tell us all about it. Neil Wade, he's an officer at St. John's Credit Union. Neil, good morning and welcome.
All right, morning, guys. Happy New Year, everybody.
Forget to tell them what you. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year, man.
Right?
We're still in the first days of the first month.
Yeah, right.
Likewise, if, as you notice, it's also the first start of a new decade.
Yeah, it is.
So,
it is.
you know, all that spending went on in December.
In that decade.
Yes, yeah, in that decade.
Decade, yes.
Right. So we're starting a new year, a new decade. So we want to start off on the right foot, and I'm here to try to encourage people and to emphasize the importance of savings.
Right.
That's right.
So,
And a tough conversation to have in what is traditionally known as MAGA season in
Yes.
Belize. People are pinching pennies until the next payday.
the next payday, yeah. You know, so I understand, and that's one of the things with the credit union. I mean, we try to emphasize the whole thing about savings and the importance of savings, and you don't want to wait until you're in a predicament to say, oh, what I will do to try to get out of this particular situation.
And I should have saved for this particular situation.
Yeah, and to be honest, savings, even for myself, thank God for being at the credit union, I've appreciated more what it means to save, right? Yeah. Because I'll be honest, my mom used to tell me, make sure you save when I started work. Your granny, your grandpa give you.
Everybody always tells you.
Yeah, right. But to be honest, like that, literally it comes through one ear, goes through the other ear.
Like the money, right? Comes through one hand and goes through the other.
You know, exactly. So
I'm glad you mentioned that, though, because I think that people don't realize that saving is a habit. Like you have to learn it, you have to practice it, you have to be committed to it, because we can have a million excuses as why not to save just a little bit each time. So how did you develop your habit?
Well, this is the thing, right? I mean, you learn this, like I say, you learn from your mistakes, right? You know, you're talking to people, you reach a certain point in your life and you realize, okay, what is my level of savings? Where I am financially? Am I prepared to stop working in 10 years, 15 years? Where I am? And the main question is, so what is your savings? You know, then you have to look at your level of liability. Will I be able to pay off all that I owe by the time I'm ready to retire? Yeah. Right? So the thing with savings, again, like I say, it's a mindset, it's a habit. It is something in Belize that we don't normally accustomed to, till a bit too late. Again, one of the things we try to emphasize is to end the whole thing with MAGA season, but I mean, you know, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Kind of hard. It's a cultural thing in Belize where, like, you know how we love rice and beans, we kind of like MAGA season. I don't know why.
Well, because we keep on telling ourselves this thing now, the money will come.
The money will come.
God will provide.
Yeah.
And we spend every last cent
Christmas
that we
bring
have.
your own money.
Christmas bring your own money. Yeah.
Like say, and I'm not sure where that comes from.
It's like, no, it doesn't bring your own. It brings January money. That's what it does.
Yeah, you know?
You're right.
So there has to be a level of how you care and caution that you take with whatever money you have in December.
Yeah.
Especially when we're borrowing. At St. John's, our motto is safe saving, smart borrowing.
Yeah.
I mean, and it goes hand in hand. We have developed a motto whereby you have to, whenever you borrow something, we have to allow you to have a savings pledge.
Yeah.
For the same reason, because sometimes if force people twist their hand a little bit, savings are the last thing on their mind.
Yeah.
And that's one of the benefits of using a credit union, because savings is the act of saving is integrated into a lot of the services and products that you offer.
Definitely. And that goes back to our fundamental principle of being the credit union difference.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we prosper, yes. We are not for profit, but we still want to make a little money and give back to you, the member. But at the same time, we want, once you prosper, then we directly prosper.
Of course.
So if we are only concerned about just lending you money, then that's one part of the equation. Yeah. Right? So it's a balancing, So as we promote safe saving, likewise the safe borrowing. Yeah.
And it is a win-win situation when we look at things from that perspective. But there are folks out there right now who are saying, you know what, this pay period coming up, I want to make sure the MAGA season situation not catch me again. Yeah. So what are our steps? What do we start to do first?
Well, the main thing is to understand the whole idea, the concept of financial literacy, right? I mean, for the most part, that's not something that has been taught in school. So you go to school, you finish your primary school, all your level of education, you bomb in the workforce. You get that first paycheck, you don't know what to do. You say, I can spend, Yeah. So that's your first initiative. However, when you sit down and you understand the whole concept of financial literacy, you understand that, okay, money is earned. Money is to be saved. Money has to be spent. Money has to be borrowed.
Yeah.
You think about money being invested, and then some of the new things now you're thinking about money being donated.
Yeah.
As all part of the whole concept of financial literacy.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the first things we do is, mindset is about savings. So you understand that this has to be a mandatory issue. That's something, I want to consider whether I should actually.
Now,
You
there are
know?
many different terminologies people use for this. They say pay yourself first before, if they're saying, if you're trying to save. But what worked for you? I like your perspective. I like that you're honest enough to say, I didn't used to save. Everybody used to tell me it's important, and then I learned. But what really made that connection for you?
Because then, like you said, you started thinking long term.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're in conversation and people will say, well, I don't worry about tomorrow because I could did today. I don't know when I did.
Yeah.
But normally you have to be at the same time realistic that life you might live maybe at least 70 years. So what are you doing to plan for your life while you're here on earth?
Yeah.
Right? So one of the first thing I did that, okay, now going forward, savings is a mandatory.
Okay.
It's not a maybe, I want to do it this month and I think about it next month. No, it's mandatory. So each month I save regularly and I save consistently.
Yeah.
And not like you're saying about paying myself first, no, actually I pay myself second. I pay the savings first. So that is the key.
Okay.
You put aside that.
So the first money that you take out of your salary is
for
savings.
Yeah, for
Okay.
savings. And for the most part, how we encourage our members is to do a salary deduction. Because
Salary deduction.
Yeah, because most of the time you won't want to, when you get your pay, you go to the ATM and then you say, oh, let me stop by the creating office and put this money to my savings.
Yeah.
More than likely that will never happen.
Yeah.
You know, so again, we try to encourage easy ways for them to save.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the first tip. If you want to be serious about saving, start a salary deduction directly to your savings account.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you try not to have ATM access to your savings. Right? You put that one side, so like you try to have different accounts. So you use your bank accounts for your spending and for your different living expenses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And again, to even with access to your normal living expenses, money that you spend, you try develop habits whereby don't take out cash unless you need to. Because sometimes you take
me.
yeah. For no particular reason, once you have money on yourself and
You want to spend it.
Yeah. Whereas if I say I got
Cash
a rob,
disappears faster than using a
your debit card.
Yeah.
You know, once you have that cash in your hand, so, and then you try, you see, depending upon your pay interval, you know where you are, in that time of the week or that time of the month. So you try to refrain from going to certain places that would cause you to spend.
Okay. All right. So limit yourself with cash, but keep your plastic. Just in case.
Just
All right.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's a good one.
And in this
to
day
take.
and age, it's much easier to use your debit card.
Yeah.
I just remind people to be careful because there are some businesses that are really terrible at charging you to use your debit, but
Again,
be mindful and ask those questions.
Yeah, and again, that's part of your financial assessment of where you go to shop.
Yeah.
Because then again, those costs would add up.
Yeah.
Depending where you go, they will charge you an extra or some cases they limit you that you have to spend this amount of money.
Yeah.
And then if you don't have your budget for the month, you don't only plan to spend so much for the week.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's better, okay, if you know you're going to do a certain amount of spending, get cash if you're going to a particular institution or a particular
find one that
establishment.
doesn't have a surcharge, you know, because there are many places that you could charge $10 if you want to with no additional charges. So find those and support those.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, so let's say, okay, January is here. The first pay period have not been issued out as yet. The base salary is around $1,700.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that 50, 30, 20. How do we manage this, especially if we've got rent, you've got babysitting or daycare, you got your utilities. Those are primary.
Yeah,
those are primary. So here we go. We've got your needs, whether groceries, housing, utilities, insurance, health insurance actually, and car payment.
I like how you put it, right? In terms of you have the needs, you have the wants, and then you have 20% for the savings.
20%.
Again, mandatory, that don't go.
That 20? Put that aside.
Like I said, as the first principle, put that first. Because then if you're left out to the bottom, then you start to juggle between the needs and then the wants, then eventually they just start to find way from the
this
savings.
This goes down to 5.
Eventually from, say, during that January, then you say, January we put the 20, but then February come we put it at 15. Then eventually from month to month, you notice that.
So look at another 10%.
Yeah. But like I said, the first thing is to do. Let savings be first.
Yeah. Salary deduction.
Yeah.
Aim for salary deduction in an account where you don't have access to it. Especially online.
Yeah, in terms of easy access.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, in terms of direct access to your ATM or online access.
Yeah.
You know. So because again, you have to, you have to restrict yourself. You know, as human beings sometimes. You know, when I have that self-control.
If it's harder to access, it's less likely that you're going to go through all of that, except if it's an absolute need.
Because I'll be honest, some of our members tell us they don't want no ATM card. Yeah. Because my account is strictly for savings. And I don't go there unless I'm in an emergency.
Yeah.
You know? So.
All right, so that's the first tip.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, now, again with the needs. Sometimes, you know, as it go along, you know, each month get tighter, expenses get higher and so forth. As you know, cost of living is always rising. So. What we do again, you're finding ways to save. I mean, one of the things with the living expenses, you watch your spending habits.
Yes.
I mean, for the most part, a lot of people would be buying breakfast in the morning, 5 days a week. Likewise, buying lunch.
$7.
You know,
and that's just for AM. That's for the
$7
first.
Exactly.
That's an expensive breakfast.
No,
but even if you do,
you kind of want a decent breakfast, you know, because normally I say breakfast. Well, for me, I love breakfast, right? So I have a decent breakfast. I need something solid to eat. Make sure I got my thing from my eggs, my meats, a little bit of fruits, and my healthy juice. So start the morning right.
So
you know?
Is it good to maybe just sit down and look at what you're paying each month, kind of like that assessment?
No, and like John said earlier, you have to, let's say you're earning $1,700 for the month. You need to do a budget. And it's wise to put pen to paper, because sometimes what you put in your head, you not remember. And then especially if you're, like I say, you have access to this ATM and then you have this access via online and you have cash in your pocket, you just have to spend wildly. So the idea is to put pen to paper, or because we have technology, or you have a tablet where you have your information. We have these amazing apps now where you can track
Excel sheet.
You track your spending, but the idea is to have it documented, right? Have it documented, and then you look at what you're spending. So for this week, okay, based on the budget, I could spend so much for entertainment. I could take a leave there this week, or Marlene might want to do here this week, or Neils or something. So, but you're actually spending habits, but you stick to it and you try to have it written or documented.
So let's talk about how you said save money. This is the key thing. So we're not telling people to go out and make more. That's always a good idea. But let's try to figure out how we can save more out of what we're currently making. Right now, I am down to zero. I'm like double digits when I've paid my bills and done everything else. And I don't know where I'm going to find this money to save that you talk about. So what we want to do is cut down on some of the things we are already paying for. Where are some of the areas that you find that people can make a saving, but they don't realize it until they watch?
And like we said, with the breakfast and
food.
Just food in terms of your groceries. If you're someone who has to buy breakfast and you have to buy lunch, again, that's like, let's say $7 for breakfast and another $7 for lunch, right? Or maybe sometimes for lunch it'll be 10, right? So you're budgeting over $17 a day. Right, and then 5 times for the week. So right there again, by looking at your living expenses, watching how your spending habits, you could cut down on where you are. And okay, maybe I can't buy breakfast 5 times for the week. All right, so maybe 2 times, 3 times for the week. Likewise, you might not. You wash your own hair. I want to go to the salon, but I can't go every week. So maybe 2 times for the week, you go to
2 times a month.
2 times a month, go to the salon and that kind of thing. But you're literally, like you say, based on that calculation, you're at zero. Then you really need to look at where the money is spent, because it has to be going somewhere.
And it can be other bills too. I mean, if your water, your light bill goes high, or other things go high, maybe you need to be a bit more conscious around the house too, to take it down. And grocery bills, that's one that sneaks up on you all the time.
But one of the items too, in terms of utilities, a lot of people have the bad habit of like brushing your teeth with the water on, or washing their hands with the water on, or taking a bath with the shower dust left on. These simple things. I mean, yes, you might say, I just a leave well, but the leave well adds up on a daily basis.
To a lot.
Exactly. So the things where you can control and you look at, then you look at and you see where you can.
You could cut back. Turn off the fan when you leave the home.
Yeah, exactly. If you're into AC, you probably try to put it on low, or if you're trying.
Or set a timer. That's one of the best things to do.
And also, like with the ACs, because of technology, you have the better ACs now with inverter technology. So You know, you try to get better equipment too. Likewise with the AC, likewise with your refrigerator.
Yeah.
So you make an investment to save.
Yeah, you see exactly. You see how
Yes.
you go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yes, you might do a high investment to buy that particular item, but down the road, save you in
It's
terms
gonna
of
save
utility.
you. It's gonna save you.
You know.
All right. So that's it. Take a look at the bills that you are paying and see where you can cut down there. Cut down in use of electricity, water, and also pay attention to how much you're spending at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Those are ways that you can cut down the amount that you're spending each time.
So that zero turns into a positive figure.
Positive figure, right? And also habits that you have, as you mentioned before, because it is, I am amazed that people don't always see it often enough. So you buy breakfast, you buy lunch.
yeah.
Even if you spend $5, right? $5 breakfast, $10 lunch. There's an
$3
afternoon snack somewhere in there. Let's not lie. I see the people moving around from office to office.
Yes.
So you're looking at anywhere from $15 to $20 a day, right?
In outside spending from groceries.
That's just that. We're not talking transportation yet from moving point.
That's Monday to Friday. That's $100.
It's $100. Fuel going from work to to and fro.
Then you have gas.
And again, like same thing with transportation. I mean, some days you could walk, depending how far you are from work.
Yeah.
You know, get up a little earlier. I mean, if it's in the summer season, then you don't have to worry about rain.
Yeah.
Likewise, you could catch a taxi or something.
Too.
Yeah,
carpool. Use the city bus.
Yeah.
All of these things can be done.
It's honestly, it's just a matter of looking at what you're spending, just your living expenses, and see where we can find ways to save.
All right.
You know.
So tell us the other tips that you brought for us.
Yes, more tips.
All right. The biggest thing again is, we talk about saving first, watching spending habits, and then the thing is, with like for example, exercising. We start the new year, we're into New Year's resolutions. So a lot of people want to lose a lot of weight when they gain during the Christmas eating with the ham and turkey, right? So like you have a little challenge among your friends and because as human beings we like to think in our groups, right? And it's sometimes hard to save on your own. So you have a little challenge with you, a couple of your friends or a couple of your family members and say, okay, make a try, each of us try to save $100 this month.
Yeah.
And you develop just a little group thing whereby, okay, what part are they? So you can check by each other, you can say, okay, where you are, and that kind of thing. Yeah. So like as we enter a little world, we like challenges, so and the little group thing of having that, doing it together, or motivator for say, all right, make I stick to this because, my brother, look for my brother there, look for my sister there, right? So doing things together and savings as an item, to doing as a challenge can help you and motivate you to continue to save.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And I think that's a very good way whereby you challenge each other to save $20 probably a week, and once you put that 20 in that pot, then we know for a fact that if you miss, I'm gonna deduct you some. So I think that's a good way to start, which makes it happy spending or happy saving.
Yeah.
So I've seen this one before. This one that you could do with friends. Is this your?
No. This is like one of the popular challenges that they have.
Yeah, that people do.
Right. So how is this?
This is hard though. I gotta say that much because I remember I did it with coworkers here a few years ago. And I think some of us made it beyond the first month, and then a lot of people just dropped out very early.
So how does it work?
I think the issue for the failure was because there was not a mandatory withholding of the money, right?
Maybe. We had to give it. Yeah.
You see, and again that goes back to the first tip that if you have a salary deduction, then it's easier for you to continue and sustain the saving.
Okay.
Right. But with this one, it's a matter of each week you put a certain amount. And then you raise after each week based on a different interval.
Yeah.
But the idea is to look at a goal on a 1 year basis. In this case, for 52 weeks, so at the end of the year, then you say, bam, okay, this is where I am.
Yeah.
So for these challenges, the idea is to reach a target. Okay, so each everybody, this is what we try to look at. So bam, again, like same thing idea with the group activity whereby we come together and we motivate each other to say.
And it's not that hard. I mean, if you can commit to it, because you're not gonna go to a weekly payment of 40, wait till the end of the year. So it's going to be it's going to be manageable for a while. Yeah.
The idea is like we said, talking about, like I said earlier, you look at your income versus expense and you do at zero, right? Again, the thing is that you always have to consider your budget. You consider what is your level of income, what is your level of living expenses, and then again, we look at what we want to allocate for savings and keeping that for savings.
Yeah. I mean, I see people, I think that one of the things that people don't always think about too is perhaps living beyond what you can actually afford.
Yeah.
Car payments can be really expensive. Rent costs a lot for people. Mortgage payments can be draining. And so they have all these responsibilities. And they don't necessarily take into account how much it's taking from them.
Yeah.
There is a number, I think, that you should have as a cap, and I think that's where the 50, 30, 20 comes from, that your expenses should not exceed 50% of what you make. Is that the
that's like
thinking?
the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, 50%
Explain
is
that to us, because
okay, like
I
for
don't know how
example,
much of us do that.
all right. Again, you look at your monthly income and you want to quantify exactly how much of this money is going to just expenses.
Yeah.
And if you try to again assess what is the percent, and then when you put things in terms of the percent, and again you document it, then you're able to see exactly where your money is going and how much of it is going to a particular category, right? Again, when you do that and then you say, oh, okay, bam, 50% of my money is just living expenses.
Yeah.
Then you need
or
to see,
more
okay,
than that sometimes.
Exactly, and then no, that's a red flag.
70%.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, and not because then you're talking just we name considering liabilities, right? That chart we have earlier was just about the wants, the needs, and then the savings.
Yeah.
Then when you change the equation and in a new item in terms of your liabilities, because
Your emergencies.
and emergencies, right? Then that's when you change the whole picture of your financial position, right? And again, the thing is to document. I will always say that's one of the key. You try to document, have your budget. Keep it on you when you're going shopping and that sort of thing. Not just go loosely. And if you know you're going shopping, you try, even if you don't want to take it with you, you look on it before you go and you restrict yourself that, okay, I'm only going to this place.
Yeah.
You know, where I want to buy X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Or if it, and kind of again, one another, in terms of living expenses, one of the items is entertainment.
Yeah.
All right. Again, you have to know, well, how often can I go socialize for the month? Right? You don't want to be socializing every week unless you can afford it.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the things we look at the credit union is about personal development and personal growth. As I said earlier, we as a credit union prosper once our member prosper.
Yeah.
Right? So depending at what stage of life you are, then we would advise you accordingly.
Yeah.
So let's say you're just fresh out of school, you're on your first job, then we could encourage you that you could save a little bit more and your living expenses can be high.
Yeah.
Because then you have no commitments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So that's understandable.
Yeah.
So like when you're just fresh out of school on your first job, then rent might be okay for you. Get a small place, nothing big.
Yeah.
You might considering getting your first vehicle because during that stage of life, you want to explore.
Yeah.
For me, I call it the Dora years because you're exploring. If I want to travel, you travel.
Yeah. You should.
Yes, like between let's say 20 to 30. That's for me.
Yeah.
For yourself, you do your thing. You enjoy your money. So. And then again, like I said, in terms of your liability, it's okay. You could borrow a small loan for a car because then you have no financial commitments besides yourself.
Yeah.
And then the next thing we'd encourage you then, if you're at that stage in life and you don't really want to rent, stay home with the parents. If mama doesn't push you out yet,
stay with the parents and save that money.
Yes, exactly. That's part of savings, right? But we do tell them when we do advise them that there will be different stages in life. You're just in the workforce. Okay, you could be loose in terms of your spending and not to be so restrictive. Again, then certain things like a vehicle is okay. That will be a priority. Then okay, bam, your pass. You didn't know different stage of life, 30 to 40. Now you're thinking about family. Thinking about getting a home. So now this is the way you go back to a budget again.
Yeah.
Right, and you watch your living expenses. You look at like I said the ratio. Now you might want to cut down some of the needs.
Yeah.
Cut down some of the wants. Yeah.
Cut down the movement.
Yeah. So, then maybe when you're younger, you get a vehicle and man burn a lot of gas because, that you want, you have no other responsibilities.
But keep in mind now, at that particular time, you should have had a great savings, being that you're living at home with your parents.
Yes.
You're not spending on any mortgage.
Yeah.
Yes, you use a certain amount for entertainment, but you should have had.
So now this, like in this case, then we would encourage them to go beyond the 20%.
Okay.
Because at this stage, you don't have too many commitments in terms of your income. So maybe we push it to 20-40 in the beginning.
I'd say 40,
guys.
20-40 for savings.
So savings when you're in the beginning, when you're just, your first job, no commitments, no friend, No
Because
children.
your needs, like your light bill, your water bill,
Yeah,
if you're at home, would have
Yeah.
been taken care of. And even if you're living on your own, should be low. Yeah.
Minimal.
Yeah.
You know, so because for the most part you're at work, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you know you get a small apartment for rent. So they rent. Let's say you do decide to move out and you want your own space. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what other tips do you have for us as well? We did the 50-30-20 formula, which you said
Solid.
is kind of just a basic place to start. Are there
Yeah.
any other things that people should take advantage of in how they save their money?
All right. The next thing is, again, you try to watch your bulk purchasing, right? The where you shop in terms of your clothes. Again, this goes to your needs.
Yeah.
You watch where if you wait for the deals. All right. Let's say you know. Depending on the time of year,
Yeah.
right? You try saving and maximize on the discounts and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, one of the competition now is online shopping.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
The amount of savings you gain from there is tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the local retailers might take the offense to the competition.
But there's still a
but-
need for it because
Yeah.
sometimes you have to go in and get things here. Or it's cheaper here
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
rather than paying shipping cost or
Yeah.
whatnot. But you can find deals online if
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what
Yeah.
you're looking for something specific.
Yeah, definitely. It also eliminates traveling abroad if
Yeah,
you like
yeah.
to get that quality that you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one of the things that online shopping does. It does
Yeah.
save you
It-
some
it-
money.
it is
But
changing.
be smart about it. That's the other
Yes,
thing.
yeah, you have to do your homework.
Yeah,
you
don't
know.
just buy it because it's cheap. I know we were talking. No, because there's this online clothing thing now that's
Yeah.
taking place, and you find these on crazy cheap stuff. And I was
Yeah.
talking to people who buy it, and it's one time wear, if no time wear, maybe, because
Yeah.
it looks nothing like what they're selling. So
Yeah.
you just wasted money.
So you gotta
if
be
you were
very
never going to
careful.
use it again, or if you can't even use it the first time, you've actually wasted money in
Yeah.
purchasing.
And that's one of the things like you talk about that one-time use.
Yeah.
Again, we're into the age whereby you're talking about recycle and
Yeah.
going green and different things. So you try to buy stuff where you could reuse.
Yeah.
Right. And especially if you know you're someone who have different functions throughout the year. You know. I know, of course, with the guys, it's easy for us. We can always mix and match.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
Right?
Good job.
Right, so-
Yeah.
So with the females, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
buy
Yeah.
a dress and not use it again. So we understand.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Right.
All right.
But again, like I said, one of the saving tips is in terms of the bulk purchasing. You especially if let's say you're buying appliances,
Yeah.
right? You look. I mean, a big thing is Black Friday
Yeah.
and Cyber Monday,
Yeah.
right? So you wait for those times. Again, look at it. We have our own deals.
We have deals here.
right?
We have deals
Yeah.
here.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, they have like ranging from 90% to 25%.
Yeah.
So you watch for those events when
Yeah.
they're having those events.
But one of the things, and I know the time is not on our side, but one of the things some folks might say, you know what, I don't use the banking system. I prefer to just get my money when I make my earnings. I don't deposit it. I just save it under my mattress. What do you say to these
All right,
things?
I am surprised that people still do that. I'm sure that will be a minority
Yeah.
on the small side.
Minority reality.
Well, agree, and hopefully that percentage is like 10% and below.
With the hope.
But
Yes.
for those people who don't have that trust in the financial system,
Yeah.
we encourage them. I mean, for example, St. John's Credit Union has been around since 1946. We've been around since 73 years. We have 4 locations. We have 2 in Belize City, 1 in Belmopan, and 1 in Dangriga.
Okay.
Again, is for ease of access for our members and our potential members.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the thing is to ensure that the money is there when they want it, right?
Yeah.
And for people, especially seeing around that they not trust, okay, what's going on with this person or that particular financial institution,
Yeah.
But again, you do homework. But for the person who is more laid back and prefers to see my money and have my money easily available, then come in and then make me go talk to and explain to you that because if a fire goes up and you have a fire by chance, then that money is gone.
Gone.
Yeah. So, and because we have different benefits with the
Yeah.
credit union, if you're
Yeah, and the money's not earning.
it's just
loses value. Yeah.
it's just sitting there, and then again because you have access to it, you just slip your hand on a mattress and
Boom.
Boom, you don't even know how much you take out, you know. So it's not wise. I know it's the old school way of doing things, but since we're in 2020, you know, with a new decade, we could try new things.
No, but in fact, I think a lot of payments now are automatically into accounts now.
Yeah, I think,
so
I mean,
it's really becoming difficult to even work and not be able to get your deposit made into a financial institution.
Yeah, we're at. Sorry.
No, I wanted to touch on one thing before we run out of time. I think one of the things that when we talked about needs, it's needs, things that you have to pay.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about managing credit card debt, which can really consume people. We push.
Yes.
We know that a lot more people are doing online shopping, but that can easily become something that takes over quite a bit of the amount of payments you have to make.
Agree that's especially because of the technology and online stuff.
Yeah.
And yes, you might get savings here, but if you don't watch yourself, you might lose those savings in interest fees, late penalty fees, and so forth. So one of the advice with credit card purchasing is that you always try to have the money available, so that as you put it to your card, as you make that purchase, you come in and pay right away. And or because again technology, we can do online transfers, right?
Yeah.
You transfer right away. But again,
so
the credit card is used
more like a debit, but just that you put the money back immediately.
Yeah, because you are allowed once you pay it before the due date, then you know there are no charges left.
Borrowing from yourself too. That's exactly what it is. You borrow a little bit here and you put that back directly.
Right away.
Yes.
Right away. And the thing is that it's just self-control. And like Maria said with the credit card, that is very addictive. And one of the things again, try have one credit card. Or if you have two, like what I do, I have one for local purchasing and one for international purchasing. So I can't make no mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's really a level of self-control, and then you discipline yourself.
All right. And just lastly, for the people who right now can't see a way to start their savings. I mean, does it matter if you start small?
Yeah. The main thing is come in just to start. And if you don't have that level of understanding, come into the credit union, any one of our locations. We will guide you, we'll give you advice on how to do it, and so that you start 2020 the right way.
Yeah.
All right. Just start. That's all you need
just
to do.
start.
Once you start, it's something versus not having anything at all.
That's right. Start
Neil,
2020 with not 20.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So thank you so much, Neil, for coming in and just reminding us that developing that habit and changing our mindset to become savers, it takes a bit of change. It takes a bit of reflection on how you spend, but definitely worthwhile in the end. So thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
We're going to go ahead and take a break.
And when we come back, we'll be joined by Hanno Lynn. I'll tell you what, it's a foodie tour, and Hanno Cafe will be here.